Hi everybody. It's been a while since I did a video talking about anything related to Asperger's syndrome. So today I decided I'm going to share a couple of books I've read, one of which I've been reading recently, which is Asperger's on the Job by Rudy Simone. And actually both books I'm going to share today are by Rudy Simone, which that's just by chance. I didn't particularly try to choose two books by her, but these are the two books I wanted to share, and they just both happen to be by her. But Asperger's on the Job, I've been reading this because I landed a job that I've always wanted, which I'll be working in a ER, and I'll be doing mostly paperwork and stuff like that, so it won't be a ton of person-to-person interaction, but I still have to gather information from the patients occasionally and things like that. So it will be somewhat social, but at least I'm still kind of in my niche as far as, I get to do detail oriented paperwork and stuff like that. And I've always been fascinated by medical things. And I think if I wanted to go to school long enough, I would have been a doctor because I'm just so fascinated by illnesses. And I love to watch, like, true stories of the ER and all those kind of shows on the Discovery Fit and Health channel. I love that channel in general, but I really love all the ER shows they do. So anyway, that's kind of why I've been reading about Asperger's on the Job. And this book, it has a lot of really good advice. I mean, it gives advice for social problems that Asperger's people tend to have, about not liking to make small talk, and sometimes coming off like we can be snobby or arrogant. And it also addresses like trying to get along with everybody, because sometimes it can be hard for us. We don't like conflict. People with Asperger's syndrome don't like conflict, but unfortunately, sometimes we can be taken the wrong way and we tend to irritate or make people mad without any intention of doing so. So it addresses things like that, and it also addresses a lot of like sensory issues on the job, and it talks about disclosure, whether you should tell your employer that you have Asperger's syndrome or not. It talks about constructive ways to try to better your skills and your abilities in the work position. Talks about trying to work from home if that's a possibility. So it covers all kinds of things. And I mean, pretty much everything in this book is about Asperger's people and the jobs or careers that they do, and trying to give you tips and information for how to get along better. And it also has, in every chapter, there's a section that goes over what the employee can do about whatever issue they're discussing. And then there's also a section to employers and advocates. So if you're an employer and you have any Asperger's people working for you, this book could really maybe help you to understand them and how to maybe accommodate some of their problems, but still make it so that they can do their job and everything gets done the way it needs to get done. So it's been a really good book, and I like all the there's like a lot of personal quotes from people who have Asperger's syndrome. You can kind of see they're all like in bold. And I really like hearing about, what other people with Asperger's syndrome, what their experiences at work have been. So it's a really good book, and I would definitely recommend you give it a try, especially if you have Asperger's syndrome or if you know someone who does, and either you struggle with your work or you're struggling with someone who has Asperger's at work or anything like that. It's definitely a good resource. And then the other book I'm just going to go over shortly, but Aspergirls, which is it's the like co-title is Empowering Females with Asperger's Syndrome. And this is a really good book if you're a female with Asperger's syndrome, because um, unfortunately a lot of Asperger's resources are geared more towards boys or men, probably because typically they're diagnosed more frequently, and often they're seen as having more severe problems, but that's not always true, because females with Asperger's syndrome, we have problems just like the guys do, but sometimes we handle it differently or our symptoms may show up differently. So this is a really good book if you are a female with Asperger's syndrome or if you have a child who has Asperger's syndrome. And in this book, like with the Asperger's on the Job book, most of it is written towards people who have Asperger's syndrome, but in every chapter at the end of whatever they're discussing, there's an advice to Aspergirls section, and then there's an advice to parents section. So it's really helpful whether you're a parent or someone with Asperger's syndrome. And it covers all kinds of subjects, and a lot of things that are things that girls with Asperger's deal with, like, savant skills, imagination, unusual interests, why smart girls sometimes have trouble with school, sensory overload, stimming, blame and internalizing guilt, gender roles, identity, puberty, mutism, attraction, dating, sex and relationships, friendships, higher learning, employment. So it goes over a lot of things. And after I read this book, I actually gave it to my mom to read because she didn't know a whole lot about Asperger's syndrome since I was diagnosed so late in life. And I think the book helped her understand me a lot better too. So I would definitely recommend it both for children and for parents, and also for teachers or anybody who works in a capacity like that with girls who have Asperger's syndrome. And so those are the two books I'm reviewing this week. And like I said, they're both by Rudy Simone. And if these two books are any indication, she seems to be a really good writer for people who have Asperger's. She herself has Asperger's too, which always makes it better when the writer kind of knows firsthand what they're talking about. So I hope that you liked these reviews. Feel free to comment and tell me if you've read any of these books or if you've read anything by Rudy Simone or maybe any other books about Asperger's that you would like me to read and review in the future. And I guess that's it for today. All my social media links are in the description of the video, so you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. I do fan funding, so if anyone ever wants to donate towards this channel, that is always most appreciated. And I guess that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.